It all started in the good old Europe. In those days where humankind and nature were still dancing the same song. This tradition originated from the combination and syncretism of various daily and religious practices of different cultures. In those days, observing the sky and the stars was more than just simple interest and curiosity. It was a matter of success and survival. Over the centuries, people began to discover different methods for obtaining information out of nature. One of those methods was observing and learning from animal behavior. On one hand, we have the Celtic tradition of celebrating midwinter, the gradual return of light, the beginning of nature's awakening, the transition from winter to spring. They did not focus so much on the tradition to look at a specific animal. For them, this time of the year was significant because it was a time for the increasing of light, fertility, and early signs of seasonal change. The Celts provided the temporal and symbolic framework of this now February 2nd side of the tradition. On another hand, around this time of year, the Germanic people used to observe hibernating animals like hedgehogs and beggars. The animal's shadow was the key sign for them to predict the upcoming weeks. It was explicitly associated with the remaining duration of the winter. This prediction side of the tradition is indeed distinctly Germanic. Okay, so you may be asking right now, were these just superstitious and naive people? Or is there any logical reason to believe these practices could actually help to predict the weather? The Peachtree World News scientific team went out there to investigate about it. Apparently, there is a relationship between sunny days and colder temperatures during wintertime. High atmospheric pressure contribute to create clear skies. In winter, very sunny days are almost always associated with high-pressure weather system. The air in a high-pressure system descends from the upper layers of the atmosphere. The air dries out, it loses moisture, and cloud formation is inevitable. This results in clear skies. During the night, the ground loses heat rapidly into space. There are no clouds to act as a thermal blanket. This causes very low minimum temperatures and cold air accumulating near the ground. Usually, sunshine days bring colder weather during winter days. Now, the animal seeing its shadow has more meaning since pretty much only during sunny days the animal will be able to see its own shadow. So, what about Candlemas Day? Candlemas is a Christian tradition that is celebrated on February the 2nd. It happens 40 days after Christmas. Traditionally, Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Jesus. The official celebration date is December 25th. In ancient times, there was a Jewish tradition for the woman to come to the temple 40 days after having a male baby. It was 80 days for a female. For the mother of the baby to do a purifying ritual to come back to social and religious life activities. And number 2, presenting the baby to the temple, something that the law required for the firstborn sons. When Christian tradition extended all over Europe, all of these celebrations and practices got mixed together. Nowadays, in England, for example, we can hear sayings like, if Candlemas days be fair and bright, winter will have another flight. But if it be dark with clouds and rain, winter is gone and will not come again. As we mentioned before, February 2nd falls nearby the middle of the winter season, nearby the midpoint between the winter solstice and spring equinox. So when Christianity spread, it didn't eliminate these beliefs, but absorbed them into Candlemas, the festival of light. Thus, they have coexisted since then. As a blessing of candles in the church, the return of light, weather prediction, and animal observation. Then, in the 18th and 19th centuries, German immigrants arrive in North America. They bring with them the date of February the 2nd, this idea of the animal looking at the shadow and the observation of animals. But there were no European hedgehogs or beggars. The ideal local animal was the groundhog. Since it hibernates, it emerges in winter and it's easy to observe. This is how Groundhog Day was born. The first written record is from 1841 in Pennsylvania. From traditional wisdom to festive ritual over time, the practice has lost its real agricultural function these days. and it has become more like a folklore, humor, and community spectacle. Today, the Groundhog field is a celebrity. There are many ceremonies and parties around it. It's even broadcasted on TV. And really, most people don't expect a scientific forecast, but the symbolic structure remains intact. Light and shadow, winter and spring, nature as a messenger of time.